Right friends, welcome back to Learning Space. This is 5th capsule, 5 hottest years. The news is from 2011 to 2015. These are the 5 hottest years. And recently the report was given by World Meteorological Organization. This is intergovernmental organization. 191 member states are there at present. It is a specialized agency of United Nations and it originated from International Meteorological Organization, which was founded in the year 1873. And this World Meteorological Organization looks at weather and climate. And recently it released a report on global climate for the years 2011 to 2015. And the interesting aspect is world's temperature increased by 0.57 degrees centigrade in comparison to long-term average of 1961 to 1990. If you take the average temperature from 1961 to 1990, then the temperature of 2011 to 2015 increased by 0.57 degrees centigrade. And our goal is to limit to 2 degrees centigrade in comparison to pre-industrial levels. That is as per Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement says the global rise in temperature to be restricted to 2 degrees centigrade, preferably 1.5 degrees centigrade in comparison to pre-industrial levels. But you see the situation during the past 30-40 years, the average temperature raised by 0.57 degrees centigrade, and the 5-year period was the warmest for all the continents except Africa. And another interesting and important aspect is the temperature in Arctic coast of Russia. This Arctic coast of Russia, the temperature increases 3 degrees centigrade above the average. So, the Arctic coast of Russia has seen the rise in temperature of 3 degrees centigrade. So, this is the most alarming news. And if you look at further information, the burning of fossil fuels increased the probability of extreme events. You may ask what is meant by extreme events. Extreme events include droughts, forest fires, then hurricanes. These are all examples of extreme events. Because of the burning of fossil fuels, the probability of extreme events increased by a factor of 10. And in the year 2015, the temperature increase already crossed 1 degree centigrade in comparison to pre-industrial levels. In our previous lectures, we talked about 0.7 degree centigrade to 1 degree centigrade. But now this report says the global average temperature already crossed 1 degree centigrade in comparison to pre-industrial temperatures. So, there is an increase of 1 degree centigrade in comparison to pre-industrial levels of around 1750, or you can say 18th century. 2015 is the hottest individual year, and at the same time this record is likely to be broken in 2016. And carbon dioxide, we have discussed in the previous week that it already breached 400 ppm. And the important aspect is within 5 years, it increased from 2 ppm to 3 ppm. And during the last 5 years, significant events linked to warmer temperatures include East African drought. Please look into this. This is East African drought. And at the same time, last year 2015, we have seen heat wave in India and Pakistan, which claimed more than 4,000 lives. And the effects of climate change have been consistently visible on the global scale since 1980s. And visible climate change events are rising global temperatures. In recent times, we have already discussed, it raised by 0.57 degrees centigrade within 30-40 years. Then sea level rise. Please look into this picture, sea level rise. Then widespread melting of ice. We have already discussed. There is increase of 3 degrees centigrade in Arctic coast of Russia. Then extreme events like heat waves and droughts, and at the same time record rainfalls and damaging floods. So these are the visible climate change events which we are seeing for the past 10-15 years. And the next question is, what is to be done? The first and the foremost is reduce the burning of fossil fuels drastically, and Paris Agreement is in this direction. But critics say that even though the Paris Agreement is implemented in true letter and spirit, then the global temperature rise will be 3.6 degrees centigrade. Then immediately switch over to renewables. Here two important aspects. This proper finance is to be made available under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change from developed countries to developing countries. This is one aspect, and the second aspect is technology transfer. To switch over to renewables should be made available to developing countries and underdeveloped countries. The challenge of Paris Agreement lies in these two aspects. One is climate finance, the second one is technology transfer. If developed countries cooperate on these two aspects, then only we can reduce the global temperature rise. Then develop carbon sink. This is most important. We are day in and day out destructing forests, but the need of the hour is through massive afforestation and greenery, develop carbon sink. Then inculcate the practice of environmental friendly practices in day-to-day life. So overall, the protection of planet depends on the attitude of the nations as a whole, and the lives of future generations depends on the foresight of the present rulers of the nations. This is most important. Right friends, with this let us conclude 5th capsule. Please do join for 6th capsule. We are going to discuss on British Prime Minister in India. Have a nice day. Thank you.